I'm Carmiece and I practice family law in the Washington, D.C. area.
One of the questions we have to think about, like say if you're married and you're dealing with your house and you own it together, the question is, well, we have an asset that we need to deal with. Sunset, they just abandoned me and come back, they've been gone, they've been gone. They've been gone, they ain't seen nobody, so I guess it's over. Like this, man, you just can't leave. Not true. Okay, that's what they call me. Hello, welcome to the Carmiece radio show, talk show. It started off on radio, but now I'm streaming live with you guys here on social media. That was one of the major changes since COVID, but thanks for joining me. If it's your first time, it's my honor. I'm attorney Carmiece T. Graves. I practice family law, estate planning in Maryland and Washington, D.C. area. So I've been gone a long time. Did you guys miss me? I missed y'all. And where have you been? What have you been up to? April has been a full month of litigation cases that had not settled, and it has compelled me, as always, to share some nuggets and things that I say, you know what, I really wish people knew this before they got to this stage of divorce, and I'm here back from the future to tell you what you may have to deal with if you're dealing with a narcissist and you're trying to get a divorce. So that's what we're going to go through because that's what I've been dealing with. Yay! Boo! I want to tell you what you need to know about divorcing the narcissist. Now, I didn't really want to do this video because I feel like everywhere you look, it's the term narcissist, and you're trending. But in my reality, as a divorce attorney, I gotta tell you what's really happening. And it is a real thing. It is not just a trend. It's not just a fad, but it's like sometimes when you finally put the profile together and people start communicating and sharing, you're like, whoa, this is a thing. It's a real thing. So let's go over what that might look like because I want people to have a long running head start in dealing with the BS you're about to deal with in this divorce. And you're like, what could it be? You shouldn't be surprised. It's similar. And just like the BS you've been dealing with in your marriage. Oh, we have to do it one more time for freedom's sake, though. So nonetheless, here's some tips. But before we jump into that, y'all know how we do. We catch up. It's been such a long time since I've been on the air because we have been expanding and growing. And my background looks a little different. I'm in a Hona suite. We've expanded, we've grown, we're hiring, and great things have been happening. But just quickly, so what's going on with the Supreme Court? I mean, since I have been on the air, and I think I was on here, maybe February, I don't know. It's been a minute, but still, since that time, we have had, I'm just celebrating Justice Ketanji, and now we turn around and we're dealing with Roe v. Wade being overturned. I'm like, did that happen? Did the same court, did the same move? We celebrated. And, I was real proud about that. Like, yes, finally, us acknowledging, yeah. But it was a subtle point. I didn't think it was worth a post. It seemed superficial to some that, she had natural hair, but I liked it. It's my brand. So nonetheless, let's get into the topic. So I'm going to be right to the point now. And I'm going to tell you this because I see the carnage that really is what is left by being in these harsh relationships. And I also see how difficult it is to get through the divorce, but I can at least give you some pointers and tips on how to best prepare yourself for what's about to happen. Okay. So one of the things I always tell people that if you are knowing that it's time for you to stop being in this, and if you're wondering, well, how do I know if I'm in one? It's harsh. It's mean. Your spouse is mean and will say mean, hurtful things and hurt your damn feelings. Okay. Lack accountability, gaslight you, kind of probably are not very supportive. If they have assets, they keep their stuff separate, maybe not even marrying you, or needing you like completely on the other end. Then, they need you and you're supporting them. So you're carrying your load, their ego, you know what I mean? Everything on your back, So, and this could be on either side, but I'll tell you one thing. One thing I'll tell you that I have noticed that when it's when the narcissist in the relationship is a woman, that thing it can get violent. Like on that side, you don't want none of that. When it's the guy, they tend to be, you don't want none of that neither. They tend to be pretty, it's a harsh experience that it has been endured. And first tip is make sure you're really ready and you have come to some acceptance about being in it, about who they are, understanding why they are how they are, having all that, forgiveness and compassion, and then also taking accountability for how you ended up in the situation with the person. Okay, once you resolve all that, you're at a good spot of completion and you're like, look, I'm ready to move on and have a new fresh start. I'm over it. Let's go. Okay, good. That requires a lot of times some real support from friends, family, spiritual advisors. Do what you got to do because it is something that really can, well, as your marriage has been, be emotionally draining and exhausting. This is the last hoo-ha. So one thing I cannot tell you, any good news where this kind of just simmers down into some rational sort of situation. Typically, in my experience, and I've been doing this for a solid decade, family alone. I've been an attorney since 2005. But what I've seen, and I always take the notes. I get the profiles. I want to ask about the background. What do you know? And one of the things is there was a video a woman put out, my friend sent to me, saying, what do you think? I think it was the top 5 uh, jobs that narcissists have that you should avoid. And it was like police officer, firefighter, and it would just seem like random. Like there was no synergies in the profession. Some were blue collar, some were white collar. I'm like, okay. But to me, in my case studies, now this is just my humble, you know what I mean? I only have a doctorate, you know what I mean, of philosophy. Okay, that's what attorneys have, our Juris Doctorate. But my humble case studying, you know what I mean? I've been diligent, I've been taking notes, I've been doing my interviews, and I built my profile. And one of the key things that's in my profile for this narcissist is having a injury on the maternal side at a very tender age that is unresolved. And this will be very apparent. This will be something that will be talked about. It would actually be the thing that lures you in to have compassion and love them, and thinking that your love is somehow going to heal this void. Silly you. That is not how that works. And I am not judging because obviously I have had my experience in this area, else I could not have the wisdom that I have about it. So, no judgment there. Just got to let life be life and love ourselves and just move on. Okay, so once you get all that together, but that's my 2 cents on that. That profile is that because, they always talk about, women with their daddy issues. Look, men can have mommy issues, and that bad boy ends up typically becoming a narcissist where that lack of that compassion that's needed at that tender age is not there. Them bad boys will hurt your feelings. Okay, they don't. I mean, that's just the experience they had at that age. Someone wasn't loving. There was a gap in that maternal bond, and that sweetness was not conveyed. Them bad boys got it for you. Okay, and will bring it to you. And if you're in it, you know exactly that I'm telling the truth. Nonetheless, so you get resolved and you're ready. That's the first step. Be resolved, get the support, do the healing before you make the legal move. Make the emotional move, take care of yourself, know you're ready. Okay, because like I said, this last hurrah is going to be a big old deal. Okay, this person is going to show up in high fashion and let you have it one last again. Because remember, I just said they have no problem sometimes causing injury and or pain, and probably not really wanting to move on, liking being in the relationship, because to them, relationship's fine. I mean, it's terrible to you, but to them, it's what they know. I think it's like, they're like, I think it's okay. You know what I mean? I don't know why you want to leave. And then you want to leave and you talk about it's crazy. And now they are like, it's on. Okay. Forget her. Act like I never knew her. You know what I mean? Like hardcore style. Like, whoa. So here's what you need to do. You need to kind of, and a lot of this is mindset. So mainly what I'm telling you about is mindset. Mindset. You have to not be deluded to think that at this point, somehow this person is just going to come to sort of rational being that you've never seen before and want to settle an agreement. I ain't really seen it. Maybe if they have assets to protect, there's always the exceptions. But generally, in this case, It's either I want to avoid child support, so I'm going to be the best dad that they ever seen, that never was. Or, I'm hiding assets. I got my money. I don't want you to get any goddamn thing. Or a lot of times folks are carrying their spouses in these relationships, and you should pay me alimony. You like this? Really? I became accustomed to a lifestyle that you had been, you know, providing for me. So you could get that. And what that and how that gets into how it actually impacts your case is that it wastes time, it's delusional, the gaslighters. So they like you can't even really negotiate a settlement because I need a rational being on the other side to understand like reality. Like this is what's going to happen. This is what the court is going to render. So let's make a decision within that. Save time, save resources, save money, rational stuff. And they all emotional and be like, in their own little worlds. And they will drag out the case. And dragging out the case for you means your case is more expensive. So that's one. Here we go. So mostly be ready. But on the other hand, you're going to need your divorce money ready to go because unless it's just you can have it if they fight custody, that's a big part of the case. That can go all the way to trial if you guys can't settle on, another tip could be if you just don't want to, lose a lot of money, understanding what is motivating the other party. You may be willing to, give and take in that area and negotiate. But what I've seen, even if you give in that regard, sometimes they're in the scenario they're taking. So even in a divorce, they want you give a little and they just take and take and take and take. And you're like, look, come on, settle the deal. I gave you this, I gave you that. And it's always something else, something else. But watch out for that. But it's always good to, propose settlement and get this case, ideally done as early on in the process as possible. But some of that gaslighting, some of that BS really makes it a long dredge. So you may be in for a little bit more of a costly divorce, but getting an idea of what the motivations are and being prepared to, hopefully the motivations are really good, but sometimes those guys are just emotional. So, like usually people that care about their money, preserving their money, they're only like, look, we're good. I was give me the agreement. It's not that serious. I will move on. I don't want to, give these attorneys, you know, 20 and $30,000 off of some nonsense. That's, college tuition for a year or something, or private school tuition for 2 kids for a year or something that can go to, add real value that both of you are probably financially responsible for. So why would you, and that just was for one attorney. And that math I did was for my sorry, I'm just warning you, they will waste your time. Okay. But here's the thing to mentally get you through it is you got to kind of plan for them to be how they're actually going to be. Mostly, I don't want you to expect them to be any other than that. That will cause you to suffer less. So I'm just giving you how it's going to be. Tips on trying to negotiate, but, giving that a go and, giving the sense whether it's really being received in earnest and deciding whether to spend any more time on that endeavor. So, otherwise, techniques and things of that nature, this is all about your freedom, okay? It's not all about how they're going to behave. It's not all about what they're going to do. Once you are firm and settled on your decision to move forward and that you deserve freedom, that you deserve to no longer suffer, that you deserve a better quality of life, it's just time to buckle up. Let's go ahead and make a plan, a legal strategy that considers the gaslighting, the BS, the dragging of the feet, that you come up with a legal strategy that incorporates what's going to actually happen, not ideally what we wish would happen. And if it does happen, whippy. But knowing this, what you're dealing with on the other side can really just kind of, ease you on down the road to victory. So nonetheless, that's my 2 cents on that topic. Hopefully that, it has been of some value to you. You know what we say in social media world, click like and share. That's what they always say. So I would appreciate it. You know what I always do. So here's my information. You guys know how to reach me. I think I'm pretty sure it's it's in the description. of this video in terms of you could book a consultation, you can call us, and kind of figure out and work on a strategy to relieving yourself from the suffering and moving towards a brighter future. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I will not take that long to touch base with you guys again, because there's been a whole lot of litigation and this is just one topic. So look forward to hearing from me again soon, and you guys enjoy the spring beautiful weather, and I'll talk to you soon.
I'm Carmiece Graves, and I practice family law in the Washington, D.C. area.
One of the questions we have to think about, like say if you're married and you're dealing with your house and you own it together, the question is, well, we have an asset that we need to deal with.
Sunset, they just abandoned me and come back. They've been gone. They've been gone. They've been gone. They ain't seen nobody, so I guess it's over.
Like this, man, you just can't leave.